This is the Iron Trader, and this is the weekend edition. Now, if you bleed crude oil like I do, then you're going to like this video. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to go over all the largest oil companies, okay? So I think there's 10 of them, plus we're going to do the ETF, okay? So we're going to do ExxonMobil, we're going to do Chevron, ConocoPhillips, EGO Resources, Schlumberger, Phillips 66, Marathon, Pioneer, Valero, and Williams, and then the ETF XLE. Okay, this video is for information purposes only, not a recommendation to buy, sell any stock, commodity, ETF. Please like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Okay, first on the docket, we have ExxonMobil, your daily and your weekly chart. Now you can see here, it went all the way up here, topped out here at 120, off of this really nice, good base. Okay, then once that base gets running, then you can see where she ripped right on up. Now, what do we have here is you just have a series of lower highs and lower lows. It came all the way to the bottom, and then you even put in a new low kind of a situation here, okay? But what I do like, and I want to point out to you here, let me just pick this up a little bit, is when we look at this low here, okay, and we have a low here, then we have an even lower low, and then we have a higher low. See that positive divergence? That's what you always want to look for, okay? So when we look here on your MACD, what do we have? Positive divergence again, okay? So that tells you that you got to be able to, you have to get long here. Now, what do we have? Well, it rallied right on up here, but basically you got a double top. So what we're looking for here, let's just look at the upside first. So you want to look at that price channel, okay? So you're sitting at 104.88. That's what you're looking at. Right basically at is 104.98, and then we have this 106.32. Now, again, if you can break above this, then we can just take it right up to the next level, which would be this candle here, which is basically 105.88. Then we just follow these candles, okay? So what do we have here? You got 109.19. And then we just take the price channel, keep right on going over. All right, so you have 113.97, and then we have your big retest up here at 120.07. Now it's not going to go straight up because even when you look at like these price channels, you still have other resistance here. But when you take these price channels over, when you can see the steps in it, you take that and you just follow it right over to the left here, and that gives you where your next resistant level is here. And now when we look at this pattern here, what do you see? Realistically, you see a cup and a handle. This is what you see, okay? So that's a pattern that you wanna kind of look here for. Now, also again, is you can also see left shoulder, your head here, and then you have a right shoulder. All right, so that's what we always want to just kind of look for. Now, you had a big sell-off here on the Friday candle, but realistically, you have to get above this 104.88. If you can, then the next target is obviously going to be that 100-day at 104.98, and then we have that 106.32. Above that, we just follow it all the way on up. Now, what do we want to do on the downside? Well, you can see this big-ass red candle is engulfing over the previous days. So what we want to look at is this 188. That is your 50 SMA. And then right below that is we have 164. Okay, now you can see that it held it here. It came down, it held it here. So this is really nice. But if you look at that 21-day, it looks like it wants to cross above that 50-day, which would take it right on up. So we have to see if this inverse head and shoulders pattern or the cup and handle pattern is going to actually play out here. So that's what we have to take a look at. Now, one thing I also want to point out to you is you see you have an RSI here of high, and then we have a high, but we had the same kind of a high, but you had a lower here on your RSI here. So that is also a negative divergence. So you had a positive divergence, and then we have the negative. There's nothing here on your MACD that's just kind of a momentum. Your green is above your red. That's always very, very good. Now, again, if this 50-day and that 21-day is lost, then we can follow the candles all the way on down. So you got 99.62 here. You have 97.74. We have 96.73, and then your big retest here is 95.77. So when we look here like on a weekly, well, this is pretty much basing out here. See how this is But now all these oil companies, remember, this is coming into seasonality here. That's why we're doing all the oil companies, because now this is a good time of the year for the old crude oil. Memorial Day, 4th of July, Labor Day, and then all the way into the hurricane season, any kind of disruptions, this is going to be pay off big here. So basically what we want to do on the downside, you want to watch that 8 SMA, 101.02. On the upside, we want to look at 104.71, and then we have this key 50-day at 106.94, which is just above your 200 SMA. If you can get above that, then we can rock and roll all the way to the top. Now you can see where we had a triple top right here, okay, and then it just couldn't do it and came all the way on down here. But if you break out above 120.70, boy, she's going to be, then you got blue sky. Okay, so bottom line here, you just watch that key price channel 104.88 on the upside and watch this key 50-day and that 21 SMA here on the old downside. Okay, next on the docket here is we got Chevron. All right, here we have Chevron. Now we have a totally different kind of a pattern here. You had a high of 171.70, and then we had a lower high right here at 170.17. So basically what you had is a double top situation. So when you see that double top situation, that's when you either want to sell your position or take a shorty and go all the way on down. Now we are holding support here really, really nice. Okay, and then you can also see, your the divergences going on here, where you have this low in this area here, and then we had even a lower low, but we had a higher low on your RSI here. So you can see that positive divergence going on here on your RSI. So let me just big this up a little bit. Okay, so what do we need to do is, you can see where the candle on Friday went right into that 200 SMA here. Okay, that is very, very key. 155.33. Okay, so this is why you want to trade the charts, because you know exactly where she's going to go. Now, always remember, like your 50-day, your 200-day, and even your 100-day, that is always stronger resistance. And then when you get on a weekly chart, it's even stronger. Okay, so always remember that. Now, your candlesticks, that's like a secondary resistance, but okay, what you want to do is always trade those SMAs. So let's just look at the downside here. What you want to do is we want to watch this 151.18. That's very, very crucial. It looks like it came right down to it. Now, there is a gap here. So we want to watch, if that 8-day is lost, we want to watch this gap. You're looking at 149.55. There's your gap. And then the top of this is 149.02. So you have a gap and a fill. And then if that's lost, then we come right down to this 147.59, which basically is your 200-day and your 50-day and your 21 SMA. Okay, so gap fill, and then this level here is what you'd be looking for. If that is lost, we just follow the candles down. You got 145.23, and then we have 142.22, 141.90, 140.92. Then you have your big retest down here at 139.62. On the upside, we want to look at that 100-day, 151.82, and then what we want to do is we can follow these candles here. Okay, so basically 153.38. They're all pretty tight here. 153.78, 154.30, and then we want to watch Friday's high, 155.32. But that 155.33, that is going to be the key level. Okay, so again, if you can get above, then what we do is we want to look to the left of the chart. 157.41. We look up here to the bottom of this candle. You're looking at 160.25. The top of that candle, 161.08. And then what you always want to look at is these gaps and these fills. So here we have another gap, 164.43, and then we have your fill sitting there at 166.10. So your gap, your fill, and then if you can break above, then you have a target up here at 171.70. So if you can close above this key 200-day, this gap is just like a magnet to a fridge. It just wants to go right towards that area. So always watch that high, 164.43. And then if you can get through, then you have 166.10. And then you can have your big retest up there. So bottom line, we know where it is. Just watch this 8-day, watch the gap to fill, and then your 21 and your 50-day at 147.59. On the upside, watch that 100-day, and then we have your 200-day at 155.33. Above that, watch this gap, watch that fill, and then we have the nice retest. All right, here on your weekly chart, well, it's really whole lot of nothing here. You got a nice series of higher highs going on here. You had like a topping tail here, but we got to see how that's all going to shake out. So you want to watch at 151.59 here. Right above it is we have that 156.63, and then you have the Hondo 161.14, and then there's your big retest of 171.70. Okay, so when we look at this area right here, so you basically had a double top situation, and then when you put a lower high in, then she just sold that all the way on down here. Now it's just trying to work itself right on up here. But again, there is a divergence here where we have a low, okay, like right here, and then we have a lower low on your candles, but you have a higher low here on your RSI. So you do have a positive divergence, so always keep that in mind. Okay, next one is going to be ConocoPhillips. All right, here it is, ConocoPhillips, COP. All right, so you can see that all of these charts here are a little bit different than what the next one is. Okay, so but basically on Friday, everyone is so far has put these red candles in. So that's what we have to look. So let's just look at the downside here first. So you want to look at this 21-day sitting at 110.58. If that is lost, we'll come to the bottom of this candle. You're looking at 110.20. Then we have 109.69, and then we have your retest here of 109.29. And again, so that would be your retest. If that's lost, we follow the candles down 108.42, 107.65, 107. You have 105.92, and then your big retest here is 105.77. But again, if you can hold this area here, that is also a very good buying opportunity. But again, once you start losing the 200-day and the 8-day and the 21-day, you have to be very, very careful. But again, if it holds that key support, if it keeps on selling down, that'd be your buying opportunity to go on upside. So what we want to do is on the upside, you want to watch the 8 SMA, 111.59, and then we have 112.02. That's your 200-day. You really need to recapture that, and then we can come up to this 50-day, which is at 113.08. Then we look at the top of Friday's high, 114.30, and then we have up here 115.29, which is basically your price channel. Now, again, if you can get above that, that's pretty much where that gap was. Okay, so but then it didn't make the fill. See, the fill is 116. So you went 115.29. So you went into the gap, but you didn't fill it there. Okay, see, so a lot of times I say when it looks like a magnet to a fridge, see, it wants to go right back up into it. But a lot of times it doesn't fill the gap, but it'll hit the gap, is what I'm saying. But again, if you can get above that 200-day, we come right here to that 116. And then we can look at the top of the candle, 117.77. And then we follow the candles up, 118.80. We have 119.64. You have 120.18. And then we have the retest up here at 121.24. Okay. Again, above that, I just want to show you here a couple key levels here. See what we have here is you have 123.25. We have 123.16. And then you have 123.86. So we take the top of this candle, 123.25. There's your gap. And then we have your fill at 123.86. So this here would be a really good target. Again, if you can get above the 100, this is your big target. This is your big target. And then that fill and then a retest here of 127.35. Okay, so this chart here looks a little bit sloppy. I should say it looks just a little bit sloppy because it looks like a series of lower highs and lower lows kind of situation. And I don't really see where you have any kind of a divergence here. See where you have a low, and then we have a real low, then we have a real low here. So that there really isn't anything where this Conoco here looks pretty sloppy in my opinion. Okay, so now what we want to do on a weekly is you want to look at that 50 SMA. You're looking at 110.31, and then right below it we have 108.03, and then your price channel at 105.77. Okay. On the upside, you want to watch that 8 SMA, 112.19, and then we have your 21-day at 115.79, and then you can just work yourself all the way on up here until you possibly get to that retest there at 127.35. But as I say, this looks very, very sloppy as far as that, and it just kind of looks lower, just in my opinion. Okay, next one is going to be EOG Resources. All right, here we have EOG. Now, we look at here where we see a low, Okay, and then basically you have just a retest of that low, 108.94. But we do have a little bit of a positive divergence going on here on that retest, okay? But again, this here looked like on the downside, just basically what you did is you triple topped, and now we got a series of that lower lows. But we do have a double bottom in play. So we got to see how this is actually going to shake out here. Now, on the downside here, well, you obviously want to watch Friday's low. You're looking at 110.67. And then we'll come over to this candle, which you're looking at 109.68. And then your retest of 108.94. Now, again, if that loses that 108.94 here, then we can actually, follow this candle right here, which basically is 106.49, and then you have a retest here of 104.82 off of that double bottom. Now, so this was a really nice double bottom, and then a rip real high, but then you just topped right on out here. Where you can blast through and stay through, then you can see where she's coming around down. So what you want to do on this is you want to watch that 108.94. That is going to be very, very crucial if it holds, if it can hold it again. If not, then we just come right to the left of your chart and we can see where it's going to go. Now here on the upside, looks like your 8-day as a 111.92, and that'd be the first resistance, and then 112.60, that's going to be the second resistance. Then what you want to do is look at the top of Friday's candle, 113.75. This is 113.96. And then we can come up here through this candle. You're looking at 115.02. You have 115.42. And then we have a candle up here, 116.68. And then 117.06 is a candle that you want to look. But what I don't like is, see how this 50-day is leaning down? See how the 21-day here is coming down, your 8-day curl down? This is not looking really, really anything that you'd want to be involved in until can see if that 108.94 is going to hold. If it does hold, then you can just take a trade off of that, and then we can see if we can move on up here. But again, if you can get above that 117.06 here, well, then what we have is you have a gap in the fill here. So you want to look to the top of this candle. You're looking at 118.37, and then we look to the bottom. You're looking at 119.53. So you have a gap. You have your fill, and then right above it is 119.90, which is your 200-day, and then above that we have your 100-day at 120.91. If you get above that, you got the area to run. You got 122.06 here. We have 123.30. We have 124.06. We come to the top of this candle. You're looking at 125.44, and this is the bad boy right up here, 126.07. That would be your first big target. And then what we do is we can follow the candles where you have 128.03, you have 127.17, and then we have 131.62. Work your way up to 135.29. But everything realistically is going to be based on this double bottom right here. Okay, so 108.94 holds, you can take a trade and you can take that long. If that is lost here, we come right to the bottom of this candle. You're looking at what are we looking at here? Yeah, 106.49, and then your big retest here of 104.82. So, if you're trading this, I would wait and see if that 108.94 is actually going to hold. So when we look at these price channels here, there's that 108.94, and then you can just basically layer this right on down here. Okay, so there's that 104.82 here, and then what we do is we can come down to the next level, which would be this candle. You're looking at 100.06, and then we have 97.02. Work your way down all the way down to 86.66. But this pattern here looks like you topped right on out here and come right on over here. So if you're trading EOG, watch that 108.94. Very, very key. If it holds, you can take the trade, and then on the upside, just watch that 112. If you can get above that key 8 SMA and 21. Then we have a shot at the 117.06 gap fill, and then maybe possibly 119.90. Okay, next one here on the dock is Schlumberger. Okay, Schlumberger, not looking good. Okay, so what we have here, you got the same kind of a topping pattern. See, high, lower, all the way on down here, and then you put in a lower low. But I do like, you do have a positive divergence here and here. Okay, higher and then a higher high. And then it rallied up here, but it looked like you just put a nice double top, went right into that 200 SMA here, and just couldn't get through, and then this fell right on down. So now what I don't like about this is You see how this 8-day rolled over? Okay, that's not good. See how this reminds me of natural gas. And then when you have this 21-day that rolled over, this is all going right on down. The only thing that's flat is your 200-day. So this is not really looking good. So you really need to get back above that price channel at 47.10. If you can, your target is going to be 48.20. Then you have 49.50. Then you have your 50-day at 50.53, and then 53.05. So there's a lot of resistance here on the upside. On the downside, if that 47.10 there is lost, then we just follow the candles right on down here. So the next candle here you're looking at here is you're looking at 45.75. That's going to be your target here. And then we have 45.33. And then you can work yourself all the way down to the big retest here at 42.73. This is not kind of a chart that I would buy. I just don't like it. I don't see any kind of a bottoming pattern. If you want to buy something like this here, you got to show me that, hey, that this actually is going to hold that double bottom like on the other chart. If it just doesn't, I don't see any really buying opportunity unless you get some kind of a reversal candle or you get a red dog candle where it comes down like here, okay, where it comes down lower and then it finished higher. That, again, this is not a real classic red dog, but that's usually what you want to look at, and then she can rip higher. But right now, I don't see any reason to say I'm going to jump into this unless you can see a bottoming pattern or if you can hold this retest here of 42.73. Now, when you look at the weekly, well, it's pretty much the same thing here. The next level is going to be this area here. You're looking at a 45.75, and then we have that retest there of 42.73. And then if that's lost, see, now remember, there is a gap all the way down here, okay, at 37.32. And then your fill basically is 36.61. So that would be your next target there, which lines up pretty nice here with your 37.37. But this has to prove something here before I would even jump into something like the Schlumberger. All right, let's take a look here. Next is going to be Phillips 66. Okay, Phillips 66. Now, this is a good-looking chart, okay? You see how you had a bottoming here, and it just rallied right on up here. Okay, you put a little bit of double top in there, came down, but look how it held that bottom like I was talking about. And then it just rallied, got above that 8-day, rallied up very nice here, and then rallied all the way up to 149.52. So this here is a good looking chart because your bottom left, upper right. Okay, see that going on up here? Old wedgie. Now, this is a good looking pattern. The thing I don't like about it is, see, we're getting into a topping situation here where this might need a little bit of pullback. But I think on this one here, on any kind of a pullback, this would be a good buying opportunity. Now, anytime you want to usually get a sideways action like this, that usually says that it wants to go a little bit lower. But again, not always, okay? So what you want to do here on the upside is you want to watch that key 147.78. That was Friday's. And then we can come over to this candle, 148.27. And then your big retest here is 149.52. Above that, we got some real nice blue sky. Okay, so that'll look really good. So if that's your breakout right there, if that breaks out, then you can just run up there very, very nicely. Now, what we want to always watch is this 8 SMA. That's going to be key, 145.94. Now, again, then we can follow all the way on down. So what do you have here? You got 143.70. We have 142.38. And then we always want to come to the left of the candle where you have the breakout candle, which is basically 140.28. And then we can come right down basically to this 21 SMA here. Now, there is a gap. So we always want to watch that gap. So you're looking at 134.76, and then we have a fill at 133.70. So gap and fill. But when you take like these candles, when this leverages up, that always provides resistance on the way back. Okay, so what you always want to do is look at to the left of that. Okay, just like this candle here, because that was your breakout. So we always look to the left here. Okay, say 136.69. That was your breakout. And same way with this candle here, you're looking at 138.06. That came down, but that's where you broke out of. So that is going to be create support levels here on the way down. But your key levels is you want to watch that 21-day at 138.05. You want to watch this 50-day at 133.81 here. Then we can just follow the candles all the way on down here. until you hit 126.63, and then below it you have 124.49. If it gets down there, that's the key is. But this is a really nice looking chart here as far as a bullish kind of chart, because anytime nothing's going to run straight up, just like Nvidia's running right straight up, but eventually it's going to be just like this. It'll run up and it'll go sideways and then it comes down. Okay, then you want to look for a buying opportunity where it can go right back up again. So when we look here at the weekly, you can just see how nice it is. And look at this 21 day. See? Okay, let's look at that nice. So it followed the 8 all the way up, and then it came down to the 21 day, and it just followed it all the way on up. So now here on any kind of sell-off, you want to watch the key levels, 136.97, 125.18. Okay, so that's very, very key, because look how many times that has held that key support level. Then obviously you can go, if it sells off, you can go right on lower here. But right now, this looks like a bullish pattern. I think any kind of a pullback would be a buying opportunity for this to go higher, and always watch that 149.52. That is your breakout level. All right, next thing we got is Marathon. Okay, here we have Marathon. Now you can see another beautiful chart, okay? It had a real nice good rally all the way on up here, all right? And then what we did is we had some really nice good trading action, but you'll notice that how it's holding everything very, very nicely here, okay? That's the key, what you want to look at here. Now, there really isn't no divergence here, but this is a really nice looking chart. So realistically, this is just like the Phillips chart here, okay? So this is something that you, if it pulls back, that you want to be basically back into this. So what you want to watch, key level here is going to be that 168.31. Very, very crucial level. As long as you can hold that, then she can go sideways to higher, okay? So if it doesn't here, we just follow the candles down. You got 167.11 here, 166.42, 164.37, 163.50 here, and then you want to look to the left of this chart here, okay? That's always want to look to the left. So your high is 162.31. That is going to be your key support level, just like what this candle would be. If it comes, just draw your line, go all the way across this level here, 159.65. So this is when, because again, like when you have those highs and it comes down and then you have that breakout, you're breaking out from this candle here. That's why you always want to look at those as key support levels. So always remember that 159.65. And then we have on this here is you have 162.31. And then we look here to your 21 day. Very, very nice here, 161.03. Then you can work your candles all the way on down here. You have 158.57. You have 156.29. Then we have 154.90, which lines up pretty nice here with your 154.61. Okay, but you look at here, see your 8 day up, 21 day up, 50 day up, 100 day move on up. And then you have your 100 day below that. Your big retest here is 148.89. But this is a really good looking chart here. So when you look at Marathon, any kind of a pullback on this, bottom line is a buying opportunity on this chart. Now, when you look at the weekly, you can just see how you layer. See, you always want to go from the left-hand corner to the upper right-hand side. So this is also a very good chart. So key levels that you want to watch here is you want to watch that 8 SMA, 157.37. You want to watch that 151.82, the 21 day. And then we have your retest here at that 139.32. You have your 50 day below right on that. But right now here on this, it just basically you just want to always watch the weekly, but on this kind of a chart here, just watch that daily chart here. Any kind of a pullback into this area here or anything like that is going to be the buying opportunity for the old Marathon. Okay, next we're going to look here is that Pioneer Natural Resources. All right, here we have Pioneer Natural Resources. Now, we can also see here we have a nice positive divergence going on where you have a low, lower low. Lower low here, higher low. Nice positive divergence, same way on the MACD here, okay? So this here is also one here that is very, very nice looking chart, and it's also very, very tradable here, okay? So yeah, we had a big red candle here again. Yes, so what we want to do is you want to watch right there, okay? So you want to watch your 226.10, that's your 50 SMA, and then right below it, 224.82, that's your 21 and your 200 SMA here, okay? So that is going to be very, very key support levels. Again, if that's lost, we follow the candles down. you got 222.97. We looked at the top of that candle. You're looking at 220.24, the bottom there, 218.90. And then we looked at the top here. You're looking at 216.88. To the bottom, you're looking at 215.90, and then your retest here of 214.23. But again, that's where it could go if this is all lost. But right now, 226.10 looking very, very good. Your 200-day, 224.61 looking very, very good. Now on the upside, we want to watch that 8 SMA. It's kind of rolling over a little bit, but that's what we want to watch. 228.35. If you can get above that key 8 SMA here, you have a really nice target here at 231.40. Okay, so that's going to be strong resistance because when you look at these two candles here, see how they went right into it and then all the way down. Now this one went higher, but where did it go? Okay, right at that key 100 SMA. Then we always want to look at Friday's high. That was 226.83, and then we can work yourself up here to 234.38. Now again, if you can get above this price channel, then we'll look to this top of this. That's 235.01. That is going to be your breakout, not this 234.38, but this candle right here, 235.01. That's going to be your breakout. And then obviously, if you can get above all that here, now there is a gap here. So what you want to do is look at the top of this candle. You're looking at 234.98, and then we look to the bottom at 236.06. That's your fill. So gap, fill, and then we can just follow these price channels right across here. So you look at 240 here, okay, and then we can look here at 224.34. You have 245.45, and then we have 246.18. Then we just take these price channels going right across. That is going to be your big resistant levels where you have 248.27. You can work yourself all the way up here. You got 250.66. We have 256.36, and then your big retest here, 257.76. But everything is going to be basically on the upside hinged, okay, if you can get obviously above your 8 SMA here, your 100 SMA, and above the top of this candle right here at 235.01. If you can, then we can just start layering it all the way on up until you get a big retest. On the downside, watch that 50, 226.10. You really need to hold that, and we need to hold that 224.82. If not, we follow the candles down, and 214.23. That is the big retest. Now we look here on the weekly chart here. This is a really nice looking chart as far as holding, your support and resistance level. So we definitely want to watch that 8 SMA, 226.15. We want to watch that 50-day, 222.18, and then your retest down here at 211.95. Upside at 100-day, 230.69. Your 21 right above that, 232.04. Then you can just layer up until you hit that big 257.76 here. But this is a nice chart here, nice good sideways action. So let me just point this out again here. So what you really have here again, it's almost the same kind of a pattern. Is you have your left shoulder, you have your head, you have your right shoulder here, or basically you have a cup and you have a handle. The key is the breakout above that key 235.01, then you can go high. So we got to see if this pattern here actually is going to play out or not. Okay, next one here is we have Marathon. Yeah, little correction. We already did Marathon. We did Pioneer. We're on Valero here right now. Okay, so what do we have here? Well, again, we had a really nice good run right on up here. 152.20. Came right on down here, but you notice that is you're really holding this key level here of support here, and we have a nice positive divergence going on here on your RSI. Now, this here, basically, okay, Valero, okay, this isn't like everything else. Like on every Friday, a lot of these, they sold off, okay, but this really didn't. This went right on up here, 143.04. That is going to be your breakout, okay? So again, if you can get above that key level, which is 143.04, okay, then what we do is we follow the candles right on over. So what do we have? You got 145.19, we have 147.30, we have on 148.28. That is going to be, see, your price channel crossed, and then we have on top 149.68, and then your big retest up here at 152.20. So this actually is a very, very nice bullish chart. You got positive divergence here. Okay, we had kind of like a triple top situation here, but it came down and it held that nice key support level all the way on down. Okay, and then it rallied up here, and now it looked like, okay, so you have a higher high. Now we got to see if you can break out above that. If you can, you got a lot of good area to move on the upside here with the oval arrow. Now on the downside here, what we want to watch, you always want to watch Friday's low. That's 141.16, and then right below it here we have 139.91. Okay, this is going to be very, very key support level here. And then again, if that is lost, come over and look at this candle here. This is sitting at 136.73. That's what we want to watch. Okay, again, so you can see how many times that it's held going all the way through these candles here. Okay, on a closing basis. That's the key, on a closing basis. So this is going to be really good support here at 136.73 if that 8 SMA is lost. And then obviously below it, we have your 21-day, 134.74. You have your 50-day, 130.88. And then we have your Hondo there at 130.48 here. Now, there is a gap, which is basically right here. Okay, looking at 131.60, and then here's your fill sitting at 130.89. So you have a gap in the fill that's but that really lines up very, very nice with the 50 and 100 days. So if it comes all the way down here, it'll fill that gap here and we'll be good. Gaps don't have to be filled right, instantly. See, like this gap, okay? Well, you have a gap and filled one right on up, came all the way down here, and then eventually it filled it up. It doesn't have to be right away. But this chart looks very, very bullish here. So we're going to see if it can break out 143.04 and then just rip on higher. Or, you want to watch that key 8 SMA here, 131.91. That's going to be very, very key here on the old downside. Okay. Again, if you can break above, here is your next target. Realistically, 148.28 and then 152.20. Now you can see here on your weekly chart here, very, very nice. Okay. You had a nice, good double bottom action, ran all the way on up here, and then came down. Okay. But now you notice where it kind of broke up, nice big spike high, and just held this level here sideways. You fell down, but again, nice double bottom action here. So this is a really good trading stock here and coming right on up. Now we're going to see here how it has ran up here. Now, if this is holding that 100 SMA. See how nice that's holding all the way through? Okay, and your 8-day is curling up very, very nicely here. You're above the 50-day, the 21-day. Bottom line, this looks like a nice big retest here of that 152.20. That is going to be very key, but always watch the candle ahead of that, 148.28, before you hit that 152.20. But right now, this looks like a bullish chart. You can see the series, okay, see where you have low, higher low, higher low, higher low. That's always a very, very bullish pattern when you see that. So when you see that holding that 100-day all the way up here, this is something that's where you can buy. So again, if it closes above that 143.04, that's the time you want to take a long and shoot for that 152.20. On the downside, as long as you can hold that 139.91, you're in good shape. Always watch the next level, which is the 21-day. You have your gap, your fill, but basically 130.88, that would be the next level here. Okay, let's look at Williams Company. All right, here we have Williams. Well, this chart doesn't look too bad here, realistically. Okay, so we went on up here. Yeah, you had like a little double top situation. Came down, but you're holding it very, very nicely here. Now, we have a lower low on this whole situation here. There's no divergence. You can see that there's no divergence. See where you have a low, okay, you have a low, lower low, and even lower low. So there's no divergence same way at here. There's no divergence there as far as positive kind of a divergence here. So we got to see, bottom line, if this key can hold this level right here. So you're looking at 33.56, and then we have your price channel at 33.48. That is going to be very, very key, because it looks like now you're going to come down and you want to retest it. See how this 8-day is rolling over? Your 21-day is on the way down. Your 50 is on the way down here. So that could push that price right on down here. Because if you look at this candle right here, you're looking at 35.46. And then we look at this candle, 35.39 here. You got a double top situation going on here. And then it just looks like you're just falling off and coming down lower here. So right now, if it was me here, I wouldn't buy this here. I'd wait right there, 33.56. you want to see if it can hold that key 200-day and that 33.48. If it can hold it, then you can take yourself, I can take myself a nice good long shot on that. If not, you got a candle, basically your target here is going to be that 32.49 here. So that is going to be your target here if that 33.48 here now. So realistically, the chart isn't really, is not bad at all here. If you can hold these two key levels, if you can, then you can take another shot at it up. But the upside, you want to watch that 34.43, that 21-day, 34.41, pretty much same amount. If you can get above that, then you have your 100-day, 34.89. You have your 50-day right above that, 35, and then you have your price channel at 35.46 coming right across here, okay? Again, if you can get above, we can layer the candles in, 35.67 here. You have 35.96. We have 36.53, and then you have a nice retest at 36.69. Above that, we can come up to the top of that candle, 37 flat, and then 37.45 here. Okay, but again, I would wait on this to see if that 200-day and that price channel at 33.48 holds before I would get involved with this. So right now here, you got a really nice series of higher lows here. See how that you put a low, higher low, that always tells you that's the time that you want to get in. But we just have that sideways action. So if that 33.48 is lost, right below it, you got 32.96, which is your basically your 50 SMA here. And then we have your price channel below that at 32.49 here. Okay, so this is the area that you really need to hold. But you can see here from the past how, look at the resistance. See, it just didn't want to get through. Finally, it broke through here. So now that resistance becomes key support level. Okay, the last one we're going to look here is at the ETF XLE. All right, this is the XLE. This is what I trade, okay? This has all the companies that we reviewed. All of those are in this XLE, plus this pays about a 3.5% dividend. So this is my big oil ETF here that I trade, okay? So when you look at the chart here, you put a bottom in here, and then we put in you had a bottom, you put a lower bottom in it, ran up a little bit here, but then you put in a higher low, which is always good, okay? So then it had a really good, nice run up here, but if you look at this, okay, high, lower high, then lower high, and then all the way on down. The same way with here on the bottom, low, lower low, lower low. But when you look at the RSI here, okay, you have a higher low, okay, you have a low, higher low, and then a higher low. So you have a good positive divergence and a good positive divergence here on your MACD here. So bottom line here, when it looks like all the red candles here, except for a few of these that we reviewed, came in play here. So what we want to watch here is you always want to watch that key 50-day, 83.32. Right below it is we have that 82.57. Now that is going to be very crucial, but when you look at that 21-day, look how many times that has held that 21-day. So if it can come through that 50, hold that 21-day, that's another good buying opportunity to take it higher. Now again, if it's lost, we just follow the candles down. You're looking at 81.88 here. We have 81.29. We have 80.68. And then we have 80.22. We have 79.48. And then your big retest down here is 78.98. Now that would be the target, again, if that 50 and that 21-day is lost on a closing basis. That's the key. Not if it blasts down and then comes right back up. Closing basis is the key, okay? So on the upside, we want to watch that 8 SMA, 83.61, and then this 200-day at 84.48. Because you can see here how many times that it's hit it. That's a real tough area for it. And then right above, you have 85.16, which is your price channel, and then pretty much at 100 SMA. Above that, we have this candle right here, 87.11. That is going to be your big breakout candle. But if you look at this pattern here again, okay, left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Inverse head and shoulders pattern here, okay? So again, if you flip that over, so you take your 78 minus your neckline and you flip that over this way, 93.69 is going to be your target, okay? Very, 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 very easy on how you can see that. Now again, when you look at this candle, you're looking at that 87.11. If you can break above that, well, we can follow these candles, but realistically, what you want to look at is the top of this candle. That's 89.75. There's your gap, and then look right below 89.95. Now, it's a small gap and fill, but still there. Okay, so that would be your target if you can close above that 87.11 is you want to get that target. And then obviously you can go all the way on up here to that 92.56 here and even 94.74 very, very easily. Okay, but just watch out and see if this pattern will play out. So there's your left shoulder. Now it built it for a long time, your head and then your right shoulder. But, again, this can go back and forth action here for a while, just like we had here. And then you can slam right up. Now, again, a close below that 21 SMA here, headed down to that 78.98. Well, then that negates that pattern. Okay. But right now, this is what you want to look for. You want to look for any kind of a pattern, anything that'll give you an edge. You know what I'm saying? Same way with these, with the divergence. Okay. Anything that'll get you a positive divergence, anything that'll give you an edge in trading here, because bottom line, it's all about making your dollars. Okay. So here on your weekly chart, well, this is looking good because you see how many times it's held this whole level here, but you're stuck right around all this resistance. 83.14 here. You have your 8 SMA, 83.43, and then we have your 84.33, and then right above it is your 21 at 85.17. So again, once we can get above all that, then you got a good shot at taking that thing much higher here. Okay, so again, you got to make sure that 78.98 is gonna hold. If it doesn't, then we come right down to your next levels here, 76.25, and then this is the big boy right here at 75.36. Okay, so that's what we always want to look at. Now there is a gap here on weekly here, which is basically 74.49, and then we have your fill at 73.02. So gap, fill. Okay, so that's what we always want to look at here too. Okay, so always watch any kind of a gaps, fills, any kind of a patterns, anyway. Okay, so you look at this and say, I don't see no pattern. Sometimes what you want to do is bigger up a little bit and you say, oh wow, left shoulders, head, right shoulder. Now I see the pattern. Okay, so anyway, anything that'll give you an advantage to trading. I've been trading a long time, so anything that give you advantage into trading. But again, now the XLE, I said that's how I trade the big oil, because it's real easy. It's like one-stop shopping. So if one or two or three companies or something like this, hey, they don't have good numbers or something, it doesn't really affect it that much. And this also pays a real nice dividend. All right, that's what I got for you today on the old big oil. It's pretty much stretched out here for quite a while, but just choose whatever ones that you want. And I want to thank everybody here for watching.